Hello, and welcome back to the Legrand Data Center Insights podcast. I'm your host, Emma, and today we're diving into another crucial topic for anyone involved in data center operations, UPS design configurations. Now, I know this might sound a little dry, but trust me, it's an absolute game changer when it comes to keeping your data center running smoothly, even when the power goes out. Let's get right into it. At the heart of every modern infrastructure is the uninterruptible power supply, or UPS. Think of it as the unsung hero, quietly standing by to save the day when the lights go out. But not all UPS systems are created equal. How effective they are really depends on their configuration. If you want to achieve top-notch reliability and avoid those dreaded single points of failure, you've got to know which configuration is right for you. Let's start with a little terminology refresher. In the world of UPS systems, you'll often hear terms like N, N+1, or even 2N. It all boils down to how much power capacity you need and how much backup you have in place. Understanding this lingo is key to making smart decisions. For example, N just means you have enough capacity to support your critical load. But what happens when something goes wrong? Well, that's where the other configurations come into play. Now let's take a look at the 5 principal UPS configurations and see what makes them tick. First up, we've got the capacity configuration. This is also known as power parallel. This is your most basic setup, a single UPS module or a parallel set of modules that provide just enough power to support your critical load. It's great for small offices or computer banks where simplicity is the name of the game. But here's the catch: it lacks redundancy. That means if your UPS fails, the whole system goes down. So, while it's a cost-effective option, it leaves you exposed to risk. Next is the isolated redundant configuration, or N+1. In this setup, one UPS takes on the full load while a second UPS sits idly by, ready to jump in if something goes wrong. It's like having a backup quarterback. You hope you never need them, but they're there just in case. The upside? You get better reliability compared to the N configuration. The downside? That backup system is just sitting there, unused, which isn't the most efficient use of resources. Plus, switching to the backup isn't always seamless, and it can come with higher operational costs. Now, let's talk about the parallel redundant configuration, known as N+1. This setup takes things up a notch by evenly sharing the load between 2 UPS systems. If one goes down for maintenance or fails, the other can handle 100% of the load, at least temporarily. It's a great balance between resilience and cost, offering enhanced fault tolerance and ease of maintenance. But keep in mind, the UPS systems need to be identical, same model, same capacity, and from the same manufacturer. So, while it's more reliable than the isolated redundant configuration, it's also more expensive. Moving on to one of my favorites, the distributed redundant configuration, also known as N+N or A+B. In this setup, you've got 2 independent distribution systems, each supported by its own UPS. This means either system can handle the full load if needed. It's perfect for large data centers where downtime is simply not an option. The beauty of this configuration is that it allows for maintenance on one UPS without disrupting the other. However, it's a bit more complex and requires careful load balancing to avoid inefficiencies. Finally, we've got the big one, the system plus system configuration. This is known as 2N or 2N+1. This is the gold standard of UPS configurations, 2 completely independent power paths with full redundancy. It's like having 2 entirely separate UPS systems, each capable of handling the load on its own. If you're running mission-critical operations, this is the way to go. Of course, it's also the most expensive setup, but it eliminates single points of failure and offers maximum reliability. So, how do you decide which configuration is right for your data center? Well, it depends on a few key factors: the size of your operation, your budget, and how critical uptime is for you. If you're running a small office, a basic N configuration might be all you need. But if you're operating a large-scale data center, something like the distributed redundant or system plus system configurations could be worth the investment to ensure you never lose power. At the end of the day, selecting the right UPS configuration is all about reducing risk and ensuring your systems stay online, no matter what happens. And the good news? There's a configuration out there for every need, whether you're prioritizing cost, scalability, or fault tolerance. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope this breakdown helped demystify the world of UPS configurations and gave you some ideas on how to best protect your data center from power disruptions. If you want to dive deeper into this topic or learn more about specific UPS models, check out our blog or reach out to us at legrand.com/datacenter. Be sure to subscribe and share this podcast with your colleagues. I'm Emma, and I'll be back soon with more on the technology shaping our digital future. Until next time, stay ahead of the curve and keep your data centers running efficiently.